The void of space offered no resistance as the massive mothership drifted past the orbit of Mars. Its hull, etched with veins of pulsing blue light, hummed with a low-frequency vibration. Inside the command deck, the navigation console flickered to life, locking its sensors onto a vibrant blue marble suspended in the darkness ahead. The alien leader stepped forward, eyes fixed on the holographic display. A slender finger rose, pointing directly at the planet. "Earth," the console chimed. The leader did not hesitate. "Deploy the scouts. Move toward the planet." On command, the docking bays groaned open. A swarm of silver craft detached from the mothership, their engines igniting in synchronized streaks of violet fire. They accelerated, leaving the mothership behind as they cut through the black expanse. The formation held tight, a shimmering line of metal and light. Below, the blue planet grew larger, filling the viewports with clouds and oceans. The scouts pushed harder, their speed increasing with every second, closing the distance to the surface as the mission began in earnest. The atmosphere greeted the scouts with a violent, unseen resistance. As the formation pierced the cloud layer, a sudden gravitational surge rippled through the air, twisting the path of the lead vessels. Two scout ships veered sharply, their wings clipping in a shower of white-hot sparks. The impact sent a shockwave through the formation, shattering the perfect alignment. Metal groaned and buckled as the ships spiraled, trailing plumes of thick, black smoke that stained the sky. They plummeted, tearing through the canopy of a dense forest. One vessel slammed into the earth with a deafening thud, carving a deep, jagged trench through the trees and soil. Silence returned to the woods, broken only by the hiss of a failing hatch. The door fell away, and an injured alien crawled out, dragging itself onto the damp, dark earth. It gasped, the sound ragged and shallow, as it reached into the wreckage. Its hand trembled while clutching a glowing distress device. With a final, desperate effort, it pressed the activation button. A concentrated beam of brilliant light shot upward. The light beam vanished into the stratosphere, leaving the forest floor in shadow. Minutes passed, measured by the rhythmic ticking of the alien device. Then, the sound of heavy engines approached, but they were not the high-pitched whine of alien craft. They were the deep, mechanical rumble of terrestrial rescue vehicles. The forest canopy parted as human emergency teams descended. They moved with purpose, but their hands were empty of weapons. Instead, they carried heavy bags filled with medical supplies. The teams reached the wreckage, their lights cutting through the gloom to find the injured visitor. They worked with practiced efficiency, stabilizing the alien and lifting it onto a transport stretcher. The scene shifted to the sterile, white walls of a hospital room. The air smelled of antiseptic and ozone. A human doctor stood over the bed, carefully cleaning the jagged edges of a wound. The alien watched, its bioluminescence dimming and pulsing with every breath. The doctor reached for a bandage, wrapping the glowing skin with steady, gentle movements. The alien flinched, then stilled as the pain subsided. The doctor leaned in, eyes meeting the visitor's gaze. "Don't worry," the doctor said firmly. "We will help you." The tension in the room broke, replaced by the quiet hum of monitors and the realization that the visitors were no longer alone in this struggle. The recovery process moved from the hospital to a sprawling industrial space known as Super Autos. The hangar floor was a landscape of scattered metal and complex circuitry. Human engineers moved between the wreckage, their hands steady as they operated plasma torches. Bright white sparks showered the floor, illuminating the collaboration. An engineer pointed to a fractured hull plate, and an alien visitor adjusted a power conduit to align the seam. They worked in silence, the rhythm of the torches matching the steady hum of the alien engines. The broken vessels began to hold their shape again. The work was nearly complete when the air in the hangar grew heavy. The temperature dropped, and the light from the overhead lamps flickered and died. Outside, the sky turned a deep, bruised purple. A low, resonant vibration rattled the tools on the workbenches. A colossal vessel descended from the clouds. It hovered just above the ground, kicking up a whirlwind of dust. A ramp extended from the belly of the ship, touching the concrete with a soft thud. The alien queen emerged, stepping into the light of the facility. She stood at the edge of the ramp, her presence radiating a soft, golden glow. The alien queen moved across the hangar floor, her footsteps silent against the concrete. She stopped before the human team and bowed her head, a gesture of profound respect. "You have shown kindness," she declared, her voice resonating through the chamber with clear sincerity. "We are grateful." With a wave of her hand, the aliens brought forward heavy chests. They opened to reveal rare crystals that pulsed with a steady, warm light, and artifacts that shimmered like captured starlight. The humans accepted the gifts, the weight of the objects grounding them. The queen turned back toward her vessel, the ramp retracting with a soft hiss. One by one, the repaired scout ships lifted from the ground, their engines igniting in silent, violet streaks. The royal vessel rose to meet them, piercing the night sky. The humans stood on the grass, watching the lights shrink into pinpricks before vanishing into the infinite dark. The silence returned to the field, but the air felt different. They were part of a larger story, and the stars above no longer looked like distant, cold points.